have ever been prone to seek adventure and to investigate where wiser men would have left well enough alone.
How's it going out there, everyone? W.F.S. here. And today, we're going to talk a little bit about Star Trek Strange New Worlds. The premiere of their fourth season will be on July 23rd of this year. And there's some interesting things coming out about this season that's worthy of talking about, and there are some questions that I think that need to be asked. So let's get right on into it. There's been lots of stories out about this fourth season and how they really tried to bring it back to a more next generation Deep Space Nine kind of feel with more realistic plots compared to season three. Season three was just more, well, a lot of people argued that season three was more fantasy than it was science fiction. So I guess they're trying to bring Star Trek back into a more Star Trek vibe, Strange New Worlds back into a Star Trek vibe, and it's still got a long way to go. The trailer that I saw, this final trailer that was released about 3 weeks ago, it looks okay, but you know as well as I do that trailers don't really tell the whole story when the season comes along, because a lot of people thought the third season was going to be great from all the trailers that came out. And then when the season finally aired, people were like, what the hell are we watching here? And now let's not forget, people, that the fourth season is going to have that really most anticipated episode of all, where the crew turns into puppets. Now, I've argued that in the past, other series that have committed themselves to a puppet episode usually means they're running out of ideas. Now, an entire episode based on the fact that the crew is turned into puppets, that may be a hard one for everyone to want to get on board with, but other people out there have used puppets to make parodies of Star Trek, and this group right here and what they did with the Wrath of Khan, I absolutely loved this one.
Khan, you bloodsucker. You're gonna have to do your own dirty work now. Do you hear me? Do you?
Kirk. Kirk, you're still alive, my old friend.
Still, old friend. You managed to kill just about everyone else, but like a poor marksman, you keep missing the target.
This channel was definitely having fun, and it was showing respect for the Wrath of Khan. And obviously, they are big fans of Star Trek. And that I can appreciate, which is one reason why I can promote stuff like this and say, you should watch it. But when it comes to Strange New Worlds and the puppets, I don't know, it's really a hard sell for me right now. But then again, I may be coming back on this channel in a couple of weeks raving, oh my God, they just gave us the most incredible episode with puppets. You never know. I doubt it, but still, I try to be optimistic about it. And while we have our questions about puppets on the show, it looks like they're also going to be giving us a horror story. At least that is a story that I've heard from several cast members. One of the episodes will have to do with some kind of a horror story aboard the Enterprise. I don't know, the episode right here, it kind of gives me the impression like they're having like a Nightmare on Elm Street style horror film. It's very interesting. I wish they gave us more information than what they are doing. They wanted to focus more on the puppet aspect of it rather than stories like this. I honestly think that for any science fiction fan, the idea of promoting a horror story versus puppets probably would have won over a lot more people than the other way around.
Let's boldly go.
Unfortunately for me, one of the characters that I can't stand on this series is Pelia. I just do not like this character. I think she was poorly written, and honestly, she's a moron. I'm sorry that I know that there's people out there who like this person, this character here, but to me, she just comes across as a complete idiot. Now, one character they definitely have to find a way to conclude her story is Lan Noonien Singh, because she just cannot exist going forward, especially with everything we know about Star Trek and how Kirk's encounters with Khan. This character just cannot exist going forward. Sooner or later, between the fourth and fifth season, this character is gonna have to meet her end. As I said before, there are stories out there that after the bad reviews from season three, they tried to bring Star Trek back into a more serious science fiction type story. But considering the fact that the Kurtzman era is over, is anybody going to be out there willing to watch Strange New Worlds? The damage has been done to this brand. It really has been. And Paramount is trying. There's all sorts of stories out there about what they're trying to do. I think they're doing one with Scott Bakula and Starfleet, Star Trek United, having to do with the United Federation planets, and he would become the president of the Federation. But the question that still needs to be asked is, after everything that has happened in Star Trek since Discovery, is there enough forgiveness out there for anyone to want to watch any new projects with Star Trek? I guess that answer is really going to be in what happens with Strange New Worlds, the fourth season and the fifth season of it, whether or not there's going to be enough of an audience demand to even want to push Star Trek forward. Maybe they need to just let it go for a little while. And we've talked about that many times before. Hell, look at over there on the Star Wars side of things, The Mandalorian and Grogu. Disney is desperately trying to bring life back into Star Wars, but the damage that's been done, it's really bad. This movie right here, which looks like it is a spliced version of season 4, may not do anything more than $85 million. That is the projections that I've heard about this film, and that's not good. Now, I have watched out of theater reviews, people who have had sneak previews of the whole movie, and they're telling us that it's actually really good. But even if that is true, even if these people are not being paid by the studios to give these positive reviews, is that going to be enough to draw people into the seats? Disney needs a home run with this film to make it work after all the damage that has been done to the Star Wars brand. I guess that's the question that needs to be asked about Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Considering the dismal response to Starfleet Academy, has this brand been damaged beyond repair? Is there any hope that Star Trek can be brought back to life even if Kurtzman and his crew are out of the picture? Can Star Trek be saved? I would love to hear your thoughts and comments, so please drop those comments below and let me know. Until the next time, my friends, God bless.